Guys, I know you are eagerly waiting for two videos. The first video I know you're waiting for is William Ruto's trip to the United States of America and the UK. Critical analysis, the real objectives of that particular trip. You guys will wake up to that video tomorrow. The second video I know you guys are waiting for is critical analysis of the NDC, both Jubilee and ODM NDC. Again tomorrow. For now, I want us to do something. I want us to figure out and try and understand something which took place yesterday. The Deputy President, Dr. William Ruto, was in Kitui. And one brave lady took to the podium, took the microphone, and the lady challenged William Ruto over some money which was intended to benefit or which was given to some women there. William Ruto stood there watching this lady helplessly. The lady was in a blue dress. You know, William Ruto's rallies are always branded. Blue is associated with Azimio. So when this lady began speaking, clearly someone ought to have stopped her. But there was nothing they could do. So this lady lectured the Deputy President. Listen to her very briefly before we ask a few questions here and there.
Alipeana pesa huko Zombe, lakini haikufikia wanabodaboda wangu wako hapa. Tunataka hiyo pesa ifike hapa. Wanabodaboda wapate pesa yao. Ndio tuanze kuongelelea mambo yako. Namba 2, wamama wangu walienda all the way mpaka Zombe. Alafu kwenda huko hawakupata hiyo pesa ulipeana huko. Kwa hivyo tunataka kusema hivi, uachie akina mama pesa yao hapa. Kuna leaders ya akina mama, kana akina mama ningo kengana. Nene niambeze ile mwendie Zombe. Na mwali kwa tambeza ni sawa sawa. Nimu kwenda pesa zenyu. Nimu kwenda pesa zenyu. Kwa unenda kwa sio na ya mwisho. Nataka kusema ya mwisho. Nini Azimio elected ya mwisho. Chairman wa asa.
Now, there's something which has been happening, and it is now coming out publicly, that William Ruto would go to places, make promises, and then in most cases, those promises were never fulfilled. As a matter of fact, the main reason why the Deputy President no longer frequent the larger Mount Kenya region is because members of parliament who used to invite him to their constituencies are no longer willing to do that. They are no longer willing to do that because they would call the DP would come, make promises, and those promises were never fulfilled. And the people there, like if you make a promise that you are giving about 1 million, and you instruct the member of parliament to deliver, and then you don't give the member of parliament that money, what do you think will happen? The border guys will be on the neck of the member of parliament. So the member of parliament, just to avoid the shame, will either try to get the money from the DP, or if that will not happen, he will use his own money to sort out the mess, like what Isaac Mwaura did the other day in Githurai. So most members of parliament are now in debts and are now no longer willing. Like there's this Thika Township member of parliament who wants to run for the Kiambu rural seat, the Wajangle. He stated that he's no longer willing because when the DP left, he was left with a debt of 7 million. So basically, that's what happened here. So listen to this woman closely again, this part. Then I want to ask a few questions. Now, from this woman's speech, the first question I want to ask, probably you can help me answer it. How did this lady manage to get the microphone? How? I've always attended political events. And one thing I know for sure is that in most cases, for you to get access to the microphone, it's normally not very easy. The list, because there's normally a program, at least it's always prepared who is going to speak on behalf of who. If it's boda boda, who is going to speak on behalf of boda boda? If it's youth, who is going to speak on behalf of youth? If it's women, who is going to speak on behalf of the women? And if it's about the business community there, who is going to speak on behalf of the business community? So I want to assume that this lady was speaking on behalf of maybe those traders. She was speaking on their behalf, which begs the question: is Ruto aware that some of the people speaking in his events are really not his people? Otherwise, in an ordinary circumstance, like sometimes occasionally, the DP would just pick someone randomly from the crowd, or any other politician can pick anybody from the crowd. But this did not happen here. How did this lady get the microphone? Is William Ruto's team infiltrated? Because the lady clearly was clad in Azimio colors. So that's the first question. The second question, what message was this lady trying to communicate to the DP? And where did she get the courage? Because this lady was saying that sort out this issue first before we listen to you. So what message was she trying to communicate to the DP? In my view, maybe three reasons, three things. Number one is the unfulfilled promises. If this lady was previously part of Team Tanga Tanga, and because of this unfulfilled promise, she decided to leave, then I think the message she was telling the DP is about these unfulfilled promises. That there is no need of you making promises when you know so well you cannot fulfill those promises. Basically, I am trying to imagine that this lady has been under a lot of pressure from these traders. Maybe the traders, like, the setup was not a big town. So if the setup is not a big town and the DP say promise those guys 1 million, and this lady was the one the promise was made to, and that promise has not been delivered, the kind of pressure she's been facing before these guys probably is what forced her. She just wanted now to make it clear that for me, I really never received the money. So if someone else received the money, please sort it out. The other message I think she was trying to communicate to the DP is his ground team. Maybe the ground team is actually failing the DP. Otherwise, if the ground team is not failing the DP, then the DP had managed to come to this place previously, and he was coming again. The ground team would have gone ahead of him and told him that, look here, Mr. Deputy President, there's a promise we made to these people, and that promise is yet to be fulfilled. So in our considered opinion, what we think you should do is not to make another promise or not to address any other issue. Please let us deal with this particular issue first before you proceed, so that at least the DP was going to be in the know. So I tend to think that there is also kind of cartels around the DP, that the DP gives money, but this money they never deliver, because they know some of these people can never reach the DP. Because say if you are working with the DP at his office and you are responsible and you have been given 2 million to deliver, you can decide not to give. The avenue for those guys reaching the DP is not very easy because it's the deputy president. So unless someone gets an opportunity the way this lady got, it's normally very difficult. So I think those are the other messages. Number three, the third question which I'm asking, is William Ruto really vetting his team on the ground? If he's vetting his team and he was there, someone would have probably stopped that lady that, no, huyo ni wa Azimio, don't give her a chance. And if the lady was Azimio and she wanted to defect, then probably William Ruto would have known earlier that there's a lady who is going to defect from Azimio. But now this lady just came, was given a microphone, and she spoke and left the DP with egg all over the face. So I tend to think that there's no proper vetting around the deputy president. He needs to figure out that my team on the ground are really my team. Otherwise, the DP is going to face a challenge which Raila Odinga faced in the previous election during recruitment of agents. Raila Odinga ended up recruiting NIS guys as part of his team. Maybe this lady is part of the, the deep state. The fourth question, was this lady expressing her frustration and speaking on behalf of others? You know, there are so many people in Tanga. Let me give you the case of Kibagendi, who was deeply in Tanga, was working in the office of the deputy president. Then Kibagendi defected. But Kibagendi defected because of frustration. He felt he was being frustrated all over. From the WhatsApp communications, Kibagendi was feeling frustrated. Is there a chance that this lady was also facing kind of frustration in Tanga, then went to ODM, but she still felt that there was need for her to actually go ahead and explain the frustration to the deputy president right in front of him. And if there were people who are really frustrating this lady on the ground there, then she got the opportunity to tell the DP. And I'm sure by the end of that day, either the DP looked for this lady, if not, the DP inquired from his team in Ukambani. And lastly, it also exposes sharp division within Team Tanga. Otherwise, an event like that, which was supposed to counter President Uhuru Kenyatta's Ghana's event, cannot end in that way. They had to switch off the microphone. The William Ruto security, what was their work there? You know, it's also questionable how a lady can just come from nowhere. So, in my view, there is serious division within Team Tanga in Ukambani and across the country. Each camp is actually undermining the other. I don't know what to think. But I felt that the move by that lady is out of this world. And therefore, we needed to bring it on this channel. Thank you guys, and may you have a good day.